Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Living Through Art, a collaborative podcast that we're able to bring cool artists together, whether it's fine art, visual art, or performing art, and even some things that we are going to discover of what art is. I'm your host, Elijah Pestana, a content creator, aspiring performer, and future talk show host, hopefully. And I have some cool co-hosts with me. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Alejandro Monti. Just here to start off with the podcast with my good friend Elijah.
Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Garcia. I'm helping out a really good friend of mine, Elijah. I like to call myself, just an overall entertainer. I like to act, sing, play saxophone. I'm also an instrumentalist. I like to write songs and all that. I like to write short poems, short stories, just anything that has to do with art in general. Mm-hmm. I like, and I love to do it. I'm what I like to call myself, the Puerto Rican Jamie Foxx. I like doing everything. I can't say I like doing one specific thing. I like doing everything.
Everybody give a clap for Dominicano.
Oh, that too. I'm also Dominican.
Yeah. we got a mud over here. And actually, give us your introduction to art in general, whether it's fine or performing, Alejandro. What have you done, actually?
So it's been really, really early. Mm-hmm. I started playing music since elementary school.
Really?
The recorder in about 4th grade.
Sounds like an establishing professional.
Yeah, I was... So from the very beginning, it's always been something in the back of my head. Mm-hmm. It really kicked off in middle school. Because I started following my brother's footsteps. And we had an amazing music teacher, Mr. Normandin.
Okay.
That guy was awesome. He introduced my brother into music. My brother ended up going into jazz band, and from there I followed my brother's footsteps. In high school, I kept playing the alto sax. Eventually, I joined marching band, and from there I did a little bit of jazz band, and that's about it.
Okay, so music has evolved your life because of family, and you also use music as a form of some type of expression, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool, especially leading in with our actual guest. We have an opportunity of interviewing someone pretty amazing in our part. He does voices. We're not going to talk about that today, but he is super funny. He is a self-taught DJ. You don't really find that, a self-taught DJ. And he is a cool person who's able to mix and sample music all together. Our fellow guest, Jonathan Castillo. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Castillo. I'm still working on my DJ name, so blank.
Jonathan Castillo, blank.
DJ Cast.
DJ. Anyways.
We would actually like to thank Florida International University for giving an opportunity to host this podcast and to give a majority of the equipment here.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers, yep. And
is this the A-team?
Yeah, that's the A-team. I actually show it to the people there.
This is a cool notebook.
Right there. So let me show you. So what's cool about this is that this was given to you by my stepmommy Gianna. Obrigado, Gianna. O meu brasileira querida.
Sim.
Yeah, Sim. You see,
What'd
Portuguese. What'd you call you? So this was actually given to me in Hawaii, and this was a pretty cool thing where I could write my thoughts and organize my creative outlooks, which is really cool. And that's the whole point of the inspiration of this podcast in general. Me personally, I always loved creating. I always loved expressing myself through music and content creation. And this was a great outlook for me. I want to thank Professor Brooks, who's our person who was teaching us how to market ourselves and using podcasts to be able to make this a cool marketable form. And I really think this is going to be a great podcast and what could be for the future. So thank you guys who are first looking at this, and then we'll continue on with that. Well, here's going to be the format of usually these episodes. We're going to bring a cool, talented, amazing person such as Castillo here. We're going to ask him some questions that we thought that you guys of the audience would pick up for us. And in the end, he's going to give us something special. Like, for example, if you see the equipment here, he gave us the legit setup. I
No,
can't
for
believe
real.
that. Yeah, like,
For
so,
real.
so let's give a clap for him. And within that, let's actually get this show on the road. I have a couple of questions here, but let's just start with a basic one. Where did you grow up, and what was your earliest memory of art of any discipline? It doesn't have to be teaching, any art discipline.
Well, I was born in Miami, so like Miami-Dade resident. But between 3rd and 5th grade, my parents and I moved to Connecticut. And I feel like that's where my true love for music started really evolving. I wasn't around family since it was just my parents and I, and a family, one of my dad's childhood friends. And I recall going through my dad's like CDs, and since he was born like in the 70s, so he grew up in the 80s. So like he has like that funky, like those Bee Gees sounds and stuff. And
Great time for music.
right.
Amazing time.
Right.
For music.
So obviously, I got really hooked into that. I didn't think about anything. Like I didn't think about that being like something that I want to do. I just really loved music when I was growing up to that age.
What was the first like CD or the first song that made you think like, bro, I love this?
Dude, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, man.
Staying
Yeah.
alive, staying alive, ha, 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 staying alive. Copyright.
But yeah, the Bee Gees for sure really like wowed me when I was a really young kid. And growing up around that era, a lot of reggaeton and rap was kind of booming up, like with 50 Cent, Daddy Yankee, Ivy Queen, who else? I forget. But
Ivy Queen's great.
yeah, Ivy Queen was great.
I saw her live like
For real?
The randomest times. Like I was at Wynwood for like a block party.
Yeah.
And there's just like a whole bunch of performances and stuff. And all of a sudden, I hear her voice. I'm like, yo, there is no way that Ivy Queen's at Wynwood right now.
Bro, she has a unique voice, but it's like it works out. And so the combination of like funk and reggaeton and rap kind of like started to mold when I was a young age.
Intermingle.
Yeah.
Blend.
So we came back to Miami around when I was in the 6th grade. I was in a completely new school, new middle school, and didn't know nobody. But I wasn't really a shy kid, and I guess that sense of personality kind of molded me into who I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
I still loved music like crazy, and around middle school, that's when we're back in Miami. All our families are excited and this and that. I remember one trip. I don't remember what age I was in, but I remember we just recently came back.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to Fort Myers. That's where I had some of my family members visiting there. It's a 2-hour drive from Miami to Fort Myers, and I was riding along with my older cousin. And he put his like humongous brick of a freaking iPod onto the auxiliary cord.
How many people had iPods?
Yeah. I actually didn't have an iPod.
Yeah, I had a what's it called? I had like one of those old little like sidekicks, right? And I had
so
music
lucky.
playing.
I've always wanted a sidekick.
Bro, you know how much they sell it for now?
What?
It's like $60 now.
I would so buy one.
I'm gonna buy one.
I would just buy it
I'm gonna buy one soon.
just for the aesthetic.
Dude, because like
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my mom has the Razor, the Motorola Razor, like the flip phone.
Yeah,
the flip phone, and she's like, "Oh, I love my Razor." yeah. I think. Do you guys have any questions?
I was gonna say because like about the recording stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So back then I didn't have an iPod. I had like literally like almost half this size of a Kyocera.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And whenever there's a song on the radio that I really really liked, I will tell everyone in the car, yo, shh, shh,
yo, yeah.
I'll tell everybody in the car to be quiet. I just record the song.
When everybody had Shazam, shh. Okay, got it.
Dude, Shazam is the best.
Shazam is the best.
Dude, you do not. Okay, this is kind of off topic. when you go to Target or like Walmart or anything, dude, those songs that they play in the background are bumping.
Yep.
I
Low
found
key, though.
so many songs. I found so many bangers in Target.
Low key, though.
In the changing room.
Yeah.
In the changing
Really?
room.
Yeah,
Damn.
I bet.
Yeah, dude. I was trying on this jacket one time. I just stopped and I just sat down. I was just like vibing to it, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm here.
You're trying on the jacket.
I don't even know why I'm here now. Like,
Lord, no, that's crazy. I think you had a question, right?
Yes, I did. Did you ever think that you would want to go into this profession? How exactly did that really kick in for you?
No, going back to what I was saying, I think that car ride really solidified my love for electronic dance music. Because my cousin was playing Tiesto, and it was like old Tiesto, like trance Tiesto.
damn.
And imagine, like,
You remember the song?
Yes, it was Just Be by Tiesto.
Okay.
So you can imagine like 12, 11-year-old boy just like witnessing trance music for the first time, like the euphoric, just like all over my body. And at that moment, I always wanted to find that feeling, that sound, that reason. And then fast forward, throughout middle school, high school, I'm just building music, finding different genres and this and that. I graduated high school and I'm working in one of those part-time lethal jobs. And
Everybody hates those.
Yeah. It got to a point where I loved music so much that like I would have like remixes in my head, and I would like move heaven and earth to find one at least remotely close to what I had in my head. Right. And then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna freaking do it myself, bro. And at that moment I never thought about doing it as like a profession. More of a like, I want to do this for me because I want to bring out what I have inside to the real world. You know what I mean? So I still feel like that. Actually, I really don't see myself
like doing anything else.
Yeah, and
like
that sounds bad, but I'm literally trying to figure this out as I go on. Even though like I've been doing this for like it's been like 5 years or so now.
Yeah.
And I've been building up some equipment, knowledge, and skills.
That probably would go within. I think Jonathan had a question about starting up with that. So
before anything, I honestly, a lot of people always say that you should have like a plan B or C. Mm-hmm. I don't really like that mentality too much. I like to think,
for sure.
Your plan A to Z has to be what your dream is,
right?
Because if you always have some form of self-doubt,
I feel like you'll just be too unorganized.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you're trying to do too many things at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Too many plans and self.
Yeah.
Very often our parents tell us that it's like always have a plan B, always have a plan B. It's like, you have to focus on one thing, get all the certification, all the experience, all the connections, because nowadays it's very hard to get into
whatever you want to do.
And especially musicians.
And that's good that you brought that up, because I actually experienced that with music. I was so obsessed with trying to make this into a professional like career, and like this is it, this is my ticket out, this is what I need to do, that inevitably like I lost that love for it. And that's good that you brought that up, because like I feel like a lot of people who are aspiring to do anything, music, dance, acting, whatever it is, always go back to why you love doing it.
Yeah.
Don't focus too much on like, I need to get this done because XYZ. Yes, you need to get it done, but why did you start in the first place? And I lost that why. And, amazingly I got it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's
I'll be real, honestly, like going back to that, because there was this one time where I felt like I lost my touch, and there was just one day, like I got really, really stressed out, and like I was feeling like I was about to have a panic attack because there's so much stress on me, and something in the back of my head was just like, go get your sax. I stopped, I went, I started playing, I just calmed down right after that. So after that happened, I was like, I need to get back into this.
Were you playing Careless Whisper?
Oh man, I'm so stressed out.
The same form.
But it's true. People use art as not only as a form of expression, but a form of release.
Like a therapy.
It is.
Like it helps
really
so much. Dude.
And there's music therapy. Like those
It
people
really
are actually using connection psychology and therapy, put it together and help people. Like there's this article that I read about people using it to help those who are in the SPED community. For those who are having the different forms of autism, music is able to connect. There's a story in Brazil where there is this person who was within the spectrum. He loved Coldplay.
Right.
He loved Coldplay.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, he wasn't able to speak until the age of 5 or 7, but he was able to first learn the words of the song. I used to clocks or something.
Viva
like
la
that.
vida.
Viva la vida. And from there, he was able to express himself with the music of Coldplay, to the point where they were having this live show in Brazil, and a reporter was saying, "Hey, they have this person who loves Coldplay and all that. Oh, bring him over." And then he got special treatment, and he got to see the show live. And you should have seen him.
No way.
He spoke more English than Coldplay himself. It's crazy.
At least
It's crazy how like people can express themselves through music. You know.
You know, speaking of the music therapy stuff,
Yeah.
I'm currently taking a class in music business where they're trying. What they're trying to do with music therapy, they're trying to put that mix into the medical field.
Really?
Because I don't know if you guys know that, but music therapy is not in any sort of insurance.
Really?
At all.
Wow.
Like that has to be out of your pocket because they don't consider that as a
It's
as a legit thing, like you know, for medical. But
well, currently now, but maybe with
right now,
more studies.
well, right now, what they're doing, they're trying to do a petition all states. I think only in Utah, like one of those small states that's now passed into the insurance policy, but it's on certain insurances.
Yeah, because in the United States, everything when it comes to insurance is by boards and state level things,
Exactly.
which is true. Let's get back on track here in regards of questions. I think you had a question for him, Garcia, in regards of his process and also like how did he become top, right?
Yeah, because you said you used to work a part-time job and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your set, man. How many hours did you put in to like doing all that? Like, did you learn before getting this, after getting this? Like, how did you like physically learn how to DJ some stuff?
Wow, so no one has ever really asked me this, and I never asked myself this. It just sort of kind of happened.
In your room?
Yeah. Just like woke up. You know what I mean? I first got the laptop, and my parents helped me out with getting the laptop. This one.
Shout out to his parents.
Shout out to mom and dad.
Te quiero mami, te quiero papi, te quiero familia. Ya tú sabes. I'm not even Hispanic. I'm Brazilian.
He's got the shirt for it. He's got the shirt.
The Guaranero, whatever.
Yeah.
Guayabera.
I'm not Cuban, so I don't want to say anything.
I usually call it the guava shirt.
The guava shirt.
The guava shirt.
But yeah, no, my parents helped me out getting this laptop first because I was actually thinking about going back to school. I just graduated high school and then I just began working because I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. And I really wanted to go back to school. And I told my parents, like, hey, like, I want to go back to school. I don't know if I'm going to do online classes or this and that. And I told them straight up, like, I also want to try to make music. So they're like, all right, cool. And then one day we all found a day that we all could go to Best Buy, and we went to Best Buy and we talked to like one of the associates there. I explained to them what I wanted to do, and
yeah, and by the way, for those who don't see on camera, he has like a MSI gaming laptop.
Yeah, it's a
gaming laptop.
It's a gaming laptop. Reason why you want a gaming laptop, especially if you're gonna do music production, is that it has a lot of things going on.
Yeah,
you have a lot of audio input and a lot of manipulation, and you need a high graphics card to able to run that. Because if you just get like an old rinky-dink laptop that costs like $100, not to discredit you, but you're gonna have a really tough time trying to make a really solid track with that laptop.
And for you to know, New Talk, you need having a higher processor makes everything fast and relatively able to deal with all that stuff, just your RAM.
Right.
Because it's not only the system that you have; you need to have software, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
related to this. Right.
right. So the software I use is it's called Fruity Loops.
Mm-hmm.
It's FL Studio 21 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 21. Yeah. And it's what I've always watched YouTubers do. Because to go back to your question, I first started watching YouTube videos because I was curious. I'm like, like I want to do this. I want to know what it's like. And I told myself, like, I could do that. I could sit down and do this. This looks fun. Yeah, like bet. All right. So I got the laptop. We took it out on a credit card. My parents told me, you pay for it. We're gonna use our credit to take out the credit card. So that worked out great. Paid off the laptop within like a year or so, and just try to grind it out. I did go overboard. I did burn myself out a couple times because I'm just a very intense person. Like once I start something, I'm just,
But how'd you find this DJ?
So
setup?
this is my second setup.
Okay.
This is my second one. Wow. So I first started with the laptop, and then I inevitably got into the DJing scene, which I originally wanted to do because since I was like freaking 12, I've always wanted to DJ first.
Yeah.
Right. And I did virtual DJ, hated it.
Because virtual, like, what do you mean?
Like virtual DJ, like it's like
the laptop,
like in the laptop, like this in the laptop, like trying to imagine like you utilizing all these little knobs with a mouse,
like a DJ version of GarageBand or something like that. Basically, where you have put all the stuff together.
DJ Hero.
You could
DJ
say that, yeah. So think of like this, but inside the computer.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about for people who don't know this, have to understand the system.
Right. So so it's not a traditional mixer. It's just straight onto the computer, and it's very hard for me, at least, because I had to use each and every little knob with a little mouse trackpad, and I hated it, and I stopped doing it.
That sounds so annoying.
It is. So fast forward, I got the laptop, I started messing with all the music stuff, and then I'm like, okay, I have a good job. I think I should get a DJ equipment. I think I should get a mixer. So I saved up around like $500.
Okay.
And I got one. It's a 2-channel, smaller than this one. Like it's probably like.
So like half of this.
Yeah, I would say like a little less than half.
Like this.
No, I'm sorry, a little more than half. I'm sorry.
So like.
Yeah, relatively, like it's just small. It's like, just for me to get it up. And bro, let me tell you, I worked that thing to like I mixed every chance I could. Every single day I was off. You could see like my streaks, like just the wear around like the rings, just like how much I just like went in on it. But
is that the one that had like actual like record player mixing, or it's within the system?
Yeah, no, it's like this, but it's just shrunk it down. Literally, it looks like this, but it has less. It doesn't have this section. It doesn't have these 2 channels.
Yeah. Because people think DJ think, oh, they're gonna put the record, they're gonna mix it.
No. Yeah. So yeah, no, I was going crazy. I was so ecstatic because that was like my dream. Yeah. My dream was to DJ, and I quickly learned that DJing is only half the battle.
Really?
Yes.
So what's the big part of it?
The big part of it is music selection, where you get your music. And how you play your music.
What do you mean where you get your music?
So, everybody knows YouTube. And everybody's like, oh, I like that song. Download, mix it. No, you do not want to do that. No. Because it is a compressed song of a compressed song once you download. When you download that MP3 file from YouTube to MP3 to your mixer, think of it like you're trying to download an HD picture. And then you kind of compress it, and it gets all foggy. Like the quality goes away.
It's like an Android user sending a video to an iPhone user. It's just Minecraft.
You get like super HD, and then when you look at it, it looks like something straight out of like a Nintendo 64. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
You just hear.
So how do you get that crisp sound? How do you get that original audio of a song?
So you look for things called record. I think it's called record rip. Record. If I'm not mistaken. record pools.
Oh, is it like a file type or is it an actual like specific
so
thing?
it's like a specific website. I use a website called Beatport, and I buy all my songs for like $1.25 a pop.
Okay.
But
and you legally own these songs to mix these songs.
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, these websites are meant for DJs, created by DJs, and these are high quality songs, meaning that I could take this with the songs that I have to a super stage, talking about like
5,000 group crowd,
right,
10,000 group crowd, all that,
and that would sound money, like no type of clips, nothing, like it would sound crisp. Whereas if I would take my YouTube rips, because we all have done that, you know,
you have to start out somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere. So like I didn't know that, and I was like, okay, how am I gonna get these songs? If I were to play those YouTube rips on those big stages, it would be disastrous. Even in a club or a bar with a decent sound system, super bad. You do not want that. So, it's music selection, where you get your music, and how you play your music. Because, like, yes, there is beat matching, and you have to understand where one song ends and the other one will begin and stuff like that. You also have to take into account the notes or the key that each song is, because you can't just put, an A key, A dominant key song with a B dominant key song, because they're gonna sound weird. At least that's how I learned it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
And also the timing, like, you can't just bring in a new track at any random area. So it's a lot of science behind it. And even I still mess up. Like I've been DJing for a little over 4 years, and there's moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm like, damn. But yeah, no, it's a beast in its own.
No, I've tried doing that like through GarageBand.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
A question that I would like to ask is, besides your youth, what other influences things of your music that you sample, right? Is it the process of saying, oh, I want to sample, I want to put that in my sample, or I have an idea of that? Is it just like you just watch a show or you listen to a track, you heard a person talk about a song, about the idea of like getting into your head from, not like from the paper to mixing, but it's like from your brain, it's like, oh, I want to put that and make that into something?
Well, I would say it's like all of the above. You get inspiration from anything. You get inspiration from someone just simply saying a simple word to you, and you're just like, you know what, that sounds good. Literally the other day, since I work with my current job, I work at customer service in an office. There was this little boy who came in with his toy, and my colleague was helping out his mom, and his toy was making this sound that I really wanted to sample. It was like somewhere like. I was like,
hey kid, sorry, come over here, kid.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't understand
right here.
I don't understand how many times me and Jonathan have hung out together and we heard a literal sound and we're just like, yo, sample that.
Yeah, for real. No, dude, straight up.
There's dead silence in the room. Get that sound right now.
No, for real.
It'll be like that. Like, you'll be surprised. Speaking of which, Deadmau5. We all know who Deadmau5 is.
For those who don't know, who is Deadmau5? Because remember, there are people who don't even know.
Show your shirt.
So Deadmau5 is a huge inspiration of mine.
So you see all these mouses? That's Deadmau5. He's
That's
famous
Deadmau5,
for having a giant a
mouse
head,
head,
mouse head, and a famous performer of the genre. Yeah.
So yeah, like Deadmau5, his style of mixing inspired me to mix just. I don't know how to explain it, but like the way he brings in songs and chops them up while he's mixing is something that I like to do, and I just made it my own. But Deadmau5, when he's making songs, like he uses some like simple things. He'll get a microphone and he will cup his hand and he will literally smack like his butt, and that's how he make like I kid you not, like 80% of his songs, and he literally confirmed this on video that he cupped his hand. And he went on his butt, he just went, and like he recorded that. So you could literally, guys, if you're an aspiring music producer, you could literally make sound out of anything. Just your imagination is what limits you.
Yeah, we literally have a class in FIU about capturing sounds and
Right.
and putting it into music, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Charlie Puth did a whole video about it on Jimmy Fallon.
Really?
He made a whole song on Jimmy
Oh
Fallon.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It looks easy because sometimes it is.
I
Really?
think the song Light Switch, right? It's like, oh, light switch, oh.
Yeah.
And then the click is an actual light switch, which is really cool.
What I say is, if it sounds good, put it in.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if it was like, oh.
And it's the craziest sounds.
Yeah.
It's the craziest sounds.
Yeah,
Like,
if-
I don't know if you guys know who Billie Eilish is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so her
International star, American pop idol, music, Billie Eilish.
so
Right.
her brother is her producer, like her personal producer,
Mhm.
and he has done videos explaining like what sounds go on the songs, and it's something. It sounds super simple, but dude, like 98% of the sounds is in their house.
Wow.
Like for I think it was Bad Guy or one of her slow songs, he literally got a match, set
Yep.
it on fire,
I-
snapped at the same time, and just did the whole song. That was the percussion beat,
I bet.
and
I
just the
bet.
fire, just the
Mhm.
fire like lit in the background. Something
Like
so
crisping.
like that.
Let's go over. I think. What other questions do we have? Do you have something else?
I was gonna mention something because me and Jonathan have actually done some music together,
Yeah, we have.
and I don't know, but like how about you, as a producer and all that, but like me as a performer, me playing is I play with a lot of emotion. Like
Right.
I'm in this whole zone that like I'm in my own world that like no one else can see but me. So I wanted to know like whenever like you're DJing or like you have an idea, what do you see like in like your imagine like in your head, like with your imaginary thoughts and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
what exactly like do you see, like what do you feel?
Like every time when you say guitar plays, like.
Like the stank
Yeah.
face, like the people.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Or-
definitely.
Because it's a whole world that like we've all done it, we've all performed before. Like
Yeah.
there's a world and there's a part
We're just
in
you.
ourselves that we only see and only
Yes.
we can describe it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I want to know what is it that like you see and how you feel.
Well, what I see, I don't really see anything. It's more of like a feeling. It really feels like a flower is blossoming in my chest when I'm like hitting the right songs and I'm
Right.
mixing in the right way. Because I'm very picky on what songs I look for when I'm putting in my playlist. Like what type of kicks I want to hear, what type of cymbals or claps, even down to the bass lines, like things that make. Because this is my philosophy. Yes, we are performers. We people who like to entertain, but the first person who listens is you.
Is you exactly.
So I'm the first person I'm playing is to me.
Okay.
And not in a I mean that in a humble way, because like if I'm not feeling it, then I'm gonna be producing just blank.
Yeah.
And man, like when I really get into it, like it's just like something that I don't want to stop.
Share your face. What
Yeah.
do you
Yeah,
do?
it's just like I feel it. Like there's moments where like I'm like I'm jealous. Like I wish I was playing. Like like I wish like I could like get out of my body and just like continue
Yeah.
mixing while I'm just like
Extra
dance.
Fairfield, zoom out.
Yeah.
Third person.
Yeah. But as far as like what I see, I don't know. I would say shapes, because like when I close my eyes and I feel like the song flowing within, like I'm like grooving. Like I
See hexagons and
Yeah,
trapezoids.
the whole environment just changes.
yeah, like it like and that's a good point that you brought up. I try to build an environment. I'm not.
Exactly.
I don't play just to play. Like I very picky with my songs because I believe that those songs will build an environment or create like some sort of like an escapism, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. That's what I want to see. When I go to a rave, when I go to a club, when I go XYZ, like, I want to let loose. And that's what I try to recreate.
Actually, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
How do you react towards criticism when you feel one of your beats it's on point, but somebody tells you otherwise? How do you react to that, and how do you recommend people to react to that?
Well, for me, I just really open ears, Obviously, if you're being rude, I won't. It's not gonna go well. I'm not gonna really take in that criticism. But always be open to criticism, because you don't know what the other person hears. Like, every ear is different.
Yeah.
Especially like a musical ear. Like, every musical ear has a different tone, a different sound, a different like taste, and it could be a blessing or a curse. Like, there's and be aware of how they're critiquing you, like, because they could be critiquing you out of spite, or
from a bad place.
Right, or they're just like straight up like, hey man, like, like that drop was sick, but you could have hold off this bar a little bit longer, or like like, I heard that you had this bass line going, maybe you should have kept it a little bit longer for the transition, things like that, like pointers.
Yeah, and also that there are people who don't know nothing about your craft.
Right.
Like, oh yeah.
I could have done it better.
You should have made the sound lower. Yeah, lower. But they're not professionals in your craft.
You're just pushing buttons, and I could do that.
So what do you do? So you really have to like pick and choose, or you just take like a general?
I would say like take it more like in a general sense. Like, don't pick and choose. Don't be cherry picking, because then you're gonna be closing yourself off to good criticism. Like. And it doesn't, and be humble, always be humble, because you don't, like, even though fulano who never touched a set is giving you actually good advice, don't be like, oh bro, what he's talking about, he's a listener, he knows, like everybody knows to a certain degree what sounds good.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you go to a club, I'm pretty sure you never DJ'd.
No.
And you go to a club and you're like, damn, that was fire, like, wow, this was really good. Yeah. Obviously, like that,
because we hear music all the time.
Right.
Wherever we go, it's a part of our lifestyle.
Right. So even if that person knows or doesn't know, be open to that criticism, and be humble.
The final question that I have is just one of those basic questions: is what are your current goals with your art form? Like, what are you trying to get it around with it? Like, what are your current goals with the art form?
My current goal is to be as good as I physically, emotionally, spiritually, anything could be, because I'm still learning, and I'm probably still gonna learn till the day I die. But I want to be the best me I could be. I could be inspired by whoever I encounter. I could be inspired by big names and stuff like that. But I want to be the best me, because I know what I like. I know what I want to make. And I want to reach to a point where, like, I'll be like, oh, I have this song in my head, and I'll just sit down and, just create that. Because I'm still learning how to make music. It's still a learning process. It takes a long time. Some people get it in a few months. It takes it, with how my life is going, and like, as I get older, more responsibilities, it's a little harder to stay consistent. But I'm still learning.
Was there ever a point in time, in your pathway of music, where you just thought to yourself, maybe this isn't for me?
Oh, 100%. 1,000%.
And if so, what made you pick yourself back up and keep going?
Yeah, share that moment.
100%. No, dude. There was a point where I was tight on money, and then that was like my main priority. And I actually quit my job to pursue music. Because I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm gonna mix full time every day. I wake up, mix. That's it. But I found myself in a hole, and I got really depressed, because I'm like, I just quit my job and I'm not feeling this music anymore.
Wow.
But it's because I was approaching it in a different way.
Like, you have to do it.
I was approaching it like I had to do it, which is not bad, but if you were steering it in a negative way, then you're obviously going to get negative results. And that's what happened with me. And that's what led me to stop doing it completely. Like, I probably went on a good, like, year and a half hiatus of music. And I thought that was done. And I was content with it. I was like, you know what? That was a phase. I'm glad that I did it. But something just brought me back up. Like, you just can't escape that love that you have, of that passion that you have. Like, literally, like, I took one glance at my system, because I had it stored up, and I was like, and I plugged everything back up, and bro, I'm telling you, like, I went crazy. I didn't play for a whole year, and I threw down like one of, like, probably like the sickest mixes I ever had. I wish I recorded it. I forgot, because you know, I didn't have that
system.
Yeah. But to go back to it, yeah. So to what got me back up, to be honest, I'm not sure, man. Like, it's just maybe it never left. Mm-hmm. You probably convince yourself that it left, which I did. I totally 100% convinced myself, like, you know what, it's not for me. I'm glad I did it, whatever. But it just sprung back up. So when you're at that hole, recognize why you're at that hole, and be emotionally intelligent enough and humble enough to tell yourself, like, okay, I put myself here because in my case, I took it way too far. You know, I probably didn't approach it how I should have.
Know your limits.
Right? Okay. Know your limits.
What you can do, what you cannot do.
Right.
Here is the final 2 questions, right? I think it'll be like an ongoing question throughout the entire podcast, but one is going to be, is DJing an art form? And if so, why? And then the final question is going to be, what are you going to tell future people who want to say, I want to be a DJ? What are the tips you have for me? Just briefly. But first, the big question is DJing an art form?
100%. It's without question, it's an art form. Like what I just previously explained to you, like, it's not just pushing buttons. You have to music select, be aware of your environment. If you're playing with a crowd, like, you have to be socially intelligent enough to understand the environment that you're playing for. You also have to understand music theory to a certain degree. You also have to just be open to constantly listen to music. Like, I'm always listening to new music, and sometimes it wears me out. I'm gonna be honest, like, for sure. But with all that combined, it is truly an art form. And it's not. And there's some other DJs that I consider disc jockeys instead of DJs, because they literally manipulate, like, sound that has already been produced to make a new sound, bro. Like, you can't deny that. And I've seen a plethora of videos of just people going crazy with something exactly like this, and it's like they're drawing on a canvas, and from my eyes.
And for those people who want to become DJs, like, what's some advice you would probably give them in regards to the art form?
First, the equipment doesn't make your skill. If I start off with a 2-channel DJ on a basic software, Serato Pro or Serato Beta, and I still threw down, man. Like, I was still going crazy. And if you have the time and you have the resources and you're able to actually go out of your way and buy the equipment, do it, because I feel like I took way too long to buy my equipment. I probably could have been at a much better area right now. But don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to play that song. Don't be afraid to mix these two genres. Don't be afraid to try something new. And also, don't be afraid to, play what the crowd is playing. Don't be afraid to not be different also. Just be yourself. Be what you want to be. Play what you want to play. Learn, keep growing. And the equipment doesn't make you.
Yeah.
You make you, right? And just always have fun. Don't forget to have fun. This is a fun hobby. This is a fun career for some. And once you lose that fun from what I've experienced, it's gonna be hard to get it back. So don't lose sight of why.
Okay. And that were wise words of wisdom from a self-taught DJ and a great performer, Jonathan Castillo. And we're actually gonna
amazing performer.
I love it. We're actually gonna hear his performance now. That's one of the cool things about this podcast, is that we're able to let these people show off their talents within the show. And all you do is just plug in all these different connections, and we're actually gonna see how this goes in. So tune in a bit. performing some music live as a DJ, making this stuff in this mixer. Here I have Jonathan Castillo. Take it away, bro. Stage is yours.
Thank you, guys. All right, so I'm gonna try to give you a quick tutorial how I do things, but my method is not like how you should do it anyway. But I do hope that you do get some knowledge from what I have to do or what I'm doing right here. But most importantly, I hope you're having as much fun as I will when I do this mix. All right, thank you.
That's where love is at, baby. We're in it for love, 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 love.
So right now, I'm mixing two songs at the same time. So I'm taking the low end on this song and the high end on this song and creating a whole new track at the same time. So, let's see what I do with this. So, what I just did was I started off with track number 1. Track number 2 is now completely taking over the mix right now. So a tasteful thing that I did was I utilized some elements from both tracks to create something new in the middle of the transition of the other one. So I really love the low end on this space. It's just like it's very punchy, very like just, you know, it just wants to make you groove. So, and I like the first track how it started. So just blending those two together, and that's just the job of a DJ. Just try to create something when you're, you know, in the moment. Not necessarily all the time, but it's encouraged. So I'm trying to find a second track here that will complement what I'm trying to build here. So that's why this scroll right here is 4. So usually on each side you're gonna see these big knobs, and that's just to load the track. Always be careful which side you're trying to load the track on, because there's been moments where I'm DJing and then I load track 1 to deck number 2 and it's not fun. So just food for thought. So, I actually didn't like that. And I did it on purpose so you guys could see, like, even though sometimes you're not going to want to like a certain track coming in, you're not going to want that track coming in too early, or you're too scared to bring it in at a certain time, just keep going. Because it's worse when you stop as opposed to, keep going. They might think like, oh, that was weird, but then like they will forget about it within like 5 or 6 minutes. So let's see how I could recover from this kind of muddy transition.
Some of our rise, some of them are Allah. Sight them up from me satellites, and I send an army a man. They protect we brother, practically place MC from every corner. Bad man a rude boy, guard the barrier, Koji. Ambush them with the fire, M take place the news. Make up pull it better, that if we get to see if it's will get catch up. Ball some up, 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 ball some up. Some of our rise, some of them are Allah. Sight them up from me satellites, and I send an army a man. They protect we brother, practically place MC from every corner. One man a rude boy, guard the barrier, Koji. Ambush them with the fire, and they place the news. Make up pull it better, that if we catch you, if it's will get catch up. Some of our rise. Satellites, and I send an army, some of our rise. Some of them are Allah.
So you see that? That's indicating that the track is finishing. So I gotta work something up fast before an awkward cutoff is gonna happen. So let's see what happens here, alright? Luckily, I timed track number 2 in line with track number 1, like how I mentioned earlier, with the drops. So the second drop should be coming up now. And perfect timing for track number 2.
Rhythm.
Alright, so let's kick it up a notch a little bit, right? That being said, now I'm no professional, but I do love what I do, and I'm still willing to learn. You know, it's okay to make mistakes, because without mistakes, how are you gonna be better than who you were yesterday? So that being said, guys, don't stop. If you want to do this, bro, this, in my opinion, is the best thing that I have ever done in my life. And yeah, so I'm Jonathan Castillo. Thank you, Elijah, for having me in this podcast, and I look forward to seeing more DJs out there. And if you want to reach to me, you can reach me to on Instagram at j_Castro2 or Castlemoto Media. Castlemoto _media. Peace.